Good versus evil. Good versus evil. It's the plot of like every book ever written, it seems like, and it seems like it's the plot of every movie. You think about that. You always have a villain and then you have a hero. Like you've got Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker. It's good versus evil. You got like the Smurfs and Gargamel. I just dated some people. Some of you in your C group are looking around going like what is that even? It's because you're spoiled little brats. You don't even know what that is. It's when TV was good. It's when commercials were good or cartoons were good. I'm getting totally off base. Anyway, good versus evil. Like the Fonz and the Malachi brothers. See, I just dated myself again, but some of you are getting it. That's like a cult classic reference almost there. How about like Sully and Randall? Good versus evil. Or maybe Jerry Seinfeld and Newman. Remember Newman? Yeah, so you got good versus evil. Listen, and if you read the scripture, what you'll find is that the scripture is full of stories, and a lot of those stories, good versus evil. This good guy, this evil guy, and this guy who's working for the light, this guy who's working for the dark. And it's just continual stories that are in there. And then there's this ultimate story about the ultimate good and evil, Satan and Jesus, and really the larger context of the Bible. If you look, it's a whole story of good versus evil, light versus dark. And actually, some Christians, I think, believe that Jesus exists and I love Jesus and I'm following Jesus, but Satan, I don't know, no, that's just weird. That's just kind of weird. And when you drill down in on it, I think some people would be like, oh, the whole Satan stuff and darkness stuff and demon stuff, I don't really think. But listen, it's really difficult to believe in Jesus, but not believe in Satan. It's really hard to believe in light and not darkness. It's this constant fight between good and evil, and it's really incongruent to believe that Jesus exists and to believe that there's not an existence of a prince of darkness, which kind of freaks us out when we think about that, right? But can we agree that there's evil present in society today? Man, there's evil. You don't have to look very far to see it. You look at the giant scale of evil, like 9/11 or mass shootings or some of the racially charged violence that's in our culture right now. And you think about murder and hate. You think about just the things that you saw even today. Like there's evil that goes in our society. So in this head-to-head encounter in Scripture, Jesus and Satan have this squaring off. Like they have this battle that goes on. Jesus has fasted for 40 days, and then Satan comes, and there is this deal that happens in between them, and it's this story of good versus evil. Now, spoiler alert, Jesus wins. Hey, spoiler alert for the whole Bible. If you read the last book of the Bible, Revelation, good wins. Good wins. But in the meantime, while good hasn't ultimately won, how do we navigate this whole world of, if there's good and evil, how do we navigate that? Well, here's what I would suggest we do. Why don't we find somebody who's good at fighting evil and fight like them, right? So if I lived in Star Wars land, which I think some people do, but if I did, and I wanted to fight the darkness, I'm going to find Luke Skywalker and I want to emulate Luke Skywalker and I want to do anything that he does so that I can fight evil, right? Well, when it comes to our lives, if we're followers of Jesus, what if we look at some of the tactics of Jesus? What if we look at some of the things that Jesus did in order to fight evil? And that's what we're going to do tonight. You're going to see some of the tactics that Jesus employed when he was fighting evil, and you're going to be able to apply those to your own life. And so as you dig into Scripture, my hope is that you'll walk away from your C group session today and be able to say, man, I got some things, when some tough things come up, I know how Jesus responded to his fight with evil, and this is how I want to respond as well.